Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated, our weekly show all about the great shows of AEW Wrestling. We are your hosts. I am Morg. This is
Master of the Moment, Matt Strange, and this is No Moments.
Nick Muir. Sorry. Oh, made me laugh. How are you guys anyway?
Fucking reveling in my victory.
I am hurting. I went back to work after a week
you have
off.
to, when you get one of your victories
Oh,
in your
no.
life.
Oh no, Morg, back to work. Back to the after your. It's all right. Lockdown will happen again soon.
Don't start, please.
Back to the shelters, lad.
That won't make any difference to me.
Oh shit! You're an essential person.
It's an essential person, apparently. Yeah.
Yes, allegedly so.
Yeah, we're all essential, but we're not paid like it.
I'm not essential. Fuck you guys. I'm not essential.
Our podcast is essential work.
Yeah, it is for our dozens of listeners. Dozens.
I've been repairing the orchid that unfortunately had to spend some time with Strange. So I found out that it had a horrible infestation the other day because it.
We've got a new plant. We got a new plant last weekend, and it's already lost 2 leaves.
Oh yeah.
Shall we buy a plant if you want? Okay. Oh, right, wrestling.
So, this might be the first time you've listened to our podcast. As such, you would need to know that the way we rank our matches and the overall shows of the week, we have a tier list. And Mr. Strange is the one who decided we would do this with the tier list, so he will now explain to you how the tier list works. And I remembered that without looking at the show note.
Oh my God.
We're going up in quality, boys. We're going up. Right, yeah, so I use a tier list. We like to throw a bit of flair and funk on it. And last time, Morg asked if I could do it with the faces and heels of AEW, I believe. So I've done faces for you, Morg. Good times.
Cool.
You don't have heels. It's AEW.
Mate, I couldn't find a way to rank the heels correctly, but I'm sure we'll break into raging about that later.
Yeah, sure.
D-rank match is a match where it's our lowest rank. You don't really care about the match. You're playing on your phone. Most squash matches and quite a large proportion of dark now, I suppose. You just don't give a fuck. And I think our D-rank face is probably Joey Janela. Is he a face? He's face D. Is he a poor man face? What is he? I mean, I like him, but he's not high on that face tier. C-rank match is what we want from our average match. We expect a good match, story's there, wrestling solid, you've had a good time. C-rank match. And I'm going to give it to a pretty good C-rank to B-rank wrestler, Jungle Boy. He's a good face. We know he's a face. He's got a smiley Jack Perry grin on. He's going to be the future. I think he's our standard face. B-rank match, the next step up. Things are getting more interesting. Maybe you really care about the story. Maybe the wrestling is just great. Either way, everything should be good. You're not looking away. You've really enjoyed that match. And I'm going with a controversial dark star. I'm giving it to Austin Gunn. Because all he is doing... He's had like 5 matches and we fucking love him.
Good call.
And he's always on the face side and he's a different take of dickhead face. I think he's one of the future.
He also stands up for other faces, which is a bit weird.
Exactly. A-rank match. A-rank match is probably your match of the night/week. An A-rank match is the one that stands out. The story is great. The wrestling is great. You give a fuck. You're invested. And I think realistically it's Cody, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cody comes out, does face things, takes a beating, bleeds a bit, fights back, the heart. Every Cody match has a story. His wrestling might not often push him into A's, but as a face, he's the fucking king. Except for S-rank matches. S-rank matches are the matches you talk about all year, the ones that stick in memory. Everything is perfect. The story is there. Maybe there's a surprise pop or a paradigm twist or something fucking changes. The wrestling is phenomenal. You do not look away. You tell your friends who don't watch wrestling and send them gifts of it. And I am giving it to Hangman Page. Because is there anyone in AEW you are rooting for more than Hangman Adam Page?
No, As soon as you put AEW in there, because it would have been Tanahashi, but you know,
Yeah.
it's an AEW.
Tanahashi is like SS, but he's the god of faces,
He is.
descending, playing his electric guitar with his Karen haircut, bringing joy to the children. Yeah, so if you know who Tanahashi is, he's the king. Sorry, go on, Morg.
I was going to say, when you put Cody in at A, and I was like, who's he going to have in at A? Oh, yes.
He's got the most compelling story. We know he's a good guy, but he's been torn down and broken up. He is a conflicted hero currently at the death and rebirth part of his story. And he's shown us a new way of enjoying wrestling, which is with an actual engaging story that we've watched now for a year.
Yes, mate. It's not the panto level of normal wrestling where everyone's screaming. It's like this slow actual burn acting, which is really nice to see.
Meanwhile, film snobs.
So
yeah, that's the tier list.
So moving on, it's time for our AEW news, and I think that we're going to have to do the big one. Well, I don't know, because the two that we've got are both quite big, but I think personally the one that I witnessed a massive mark out, more on that later, of is Miro, formerly Rusev. Go on.
You've ruined my transition.
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry, carry on.
Miro, formerly Rusev, has now signed with AEW. What do you guys think about this? I know me and Strange have discussed it. What do you think, Muir?
I think he'll be great. He's going to face turn very quickly, I'd imagine. It seems like he's going to be a Mr. Perfect gimmick, which he's the best man at everything, which is a really cool gimmick. I love that he came out in a PJ's shirt. That really appeals to me, my wrestler.
His trousers are limited edition Gucci Disney trousers.
Don't ruin it for me.
Bombs that cost $1,500.
Oh, you've ruined it for me. I just like.
He put it on his Twitter. He put up that his overall getup was like 10K.
Oh, fuck off. I just wanted it to come out in like 50 quid's worth of clothes.
No, he's an influencer.
I know he is, but I wanted him to be a slob, all right?
I'm probably the least poppy of us for this, because I don't really know Rusev other than having been in a cuckold storyline.
Poor bastard.
His entrance was good enough. I'm going to wait to see more of him, shall we say.
He's a damn good wrestler, but he should be a face. But I guess, we'll see.
Do you want to change?
Mr. Strange, would you like to tell the viewers your comment earlier on today after watching YouTube, though?
All right, okay. So I've had to do some looking into our Miro-ness, and everybody's going about how fucking great he is and stuff, and I'm naturally contrarian. So I went to his YouTube channel, To Be Miro TV, for those who are interested, and just clicked his video of him like talking, and within 51 seconds, I was like, this man is lovely. He's won me over with his wonderful personality in 50 fucking seconds. I hate it. Goes against my every instinct.
And the other news, Mr. Muir, you're the one who brought this up.
1 second, I'm not sure what you're on about.
Just 1 million on Dynamite.
Oh, that's the badger. Yeah, 1,016,000 viewers for consecutive viewers for Dynamite, the most that we've had since early October last year, so the first two shows. So yeah, hopefully, I know they were unopposed, but hopefully they can actually keep some momentum going with this, and keep improving the show and keep getting more viewers.
Hopefully so. I'm excited, but I just like watching the. Not that I'm actually interested in the AEW WWE war, but I do love watching big companies collapse.
I do love people. I do love people mindlessly arguing over their console, though. I do love it.
Oh, console wars with wrestling is hilarious.
It's so stupid. It just makes me laugh. But anyway, yeah.
Take control again.
So moving on from the news, onto social media of the week. And Mr. Strange, do you have a social media of the week for people to check out?
Shockingly, after my discovery that weird blonde-haired Bulgarian man, Miro. Yeah. Oh, wicked. Thanks, yo. I'm learning. he will be our social media choice of the turn. He is really active on Twitch, and obviously we'll be starting his Twitch with Kip Sabian. Miro's Twitch is Miro TWCH. Twitch. I'm not a Twitch man. And Kip is the Kip Sabian at Twitch. So if you're one of those people who's into watching famous people play games and stuff, it looks like they're going to be really pushing it. He's really active and friendly on Twitter as well, which is To Be Miro, so at To Be Miro. He does tend to upset some people because we live in an excessively zealotry-driven time, shall we say. I will not pick sides. And Miro grew up poor in a communist country where his family lived under communism. And obviously a lot of people push for what they believe communism to be. And this can often cause difficult times. Yeah. It doesn't look like he's like a right-wing asshole. It just looks like he's a man who grew up poor in a
commie country.
In a commie country. But yeah, he seems really sound. I am angry that I like him already. And he likes anime, apparently. So
of course
he's a massive nerd.
Fuck's sake. Moving on. Yeah,
I'm really hoping. I'm really hoping that AEW can get. I can't remember what her real name is. I'm really offended. I can only remember her WWE name, but they get Lana.
Slave name.
Yeah. Lana, because the two of them together are absolute, and I would love to see the two of them together as baby faces because they are freaking hilarious. The way they bicker, they are so funny. And they are legitimately funny. Some of the best ride-alongs were him and her in Ride-Along.
I mean, sorry, the best ride-along was when they tried to get Pac involved in Ride-Along and he told them to go fuck themselves. That was the best ride-along.
He was very angry that day.
Yeah.
He's always very angry. Yeah. So, moving on from social media. He'll be back. Moving on from social media. Though I had a week off and I ate like fuck, so I hate to think how Pac's going to feel when he finally comes back. We move on to our review of the week, and we open our review as always with BTE or Being the Elite. What did you guys think of this week's or last week's BTE?
I really
this week's is tonight. Yeah, no, it was really good. I actually took notes, so I'll let Muir lead through because he normally does.
Right,
but I'll actually join in this week.
Cool. We start with the Bucks going to the supermarket to try and find themselves, as always. I always feel sorry for Ricochet in this because he's always there and he should be a fucking star, but he's always on those pegs.
Why do the Bucks buy?
Then we move on to a bit with Luke.
Not a code. Hold on, but have you noticed the Bucks bought a Kenny figure, but not a Cody figure? Just saying. Carry on.
Because they respect Kenny.
Cody no mates.
Luchasaurus had a really bad bum bag, I noticed during this.
I enjoyed the Canadian Destroyer joke.
Yeah.
Like not a big chuckle, but
no, it was quite funny. I like this Hangman section. I felt really bad for him during it.
Should it be on Dynamite?
Yes.
Because we've got several of these sections of Brandon trying to talk to the Bucks and such like, and I feel it should be on Dynamite.
If you're going to build him to be the next babyface champion of your belt, which he obviously is going to be, you should be having these seeds laid now on the main show, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Moving on from there, Seven were trying to induct Wardlow, and this was my favourite bit of the show.
This was hilarious.
Like,
so good.
Just blinded by his beauty. And just all these comments, just like Wardlow just standing there looking confused at them.
Like a bite of that.
I was starting to wonder whether they hadn't told Wardlow he was actually in the skit.
Yeah. Just saw him standing there like, what's going on here? No,
yes.
He was fantastic through it. He didn't corpse through it all, which I would have struggled to do. So fair play to him. He's great. I hate to see him walking away, but I love to. So just watching his ass go away. That was just brilliant. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. Then they stole some merchandise from Cracker Jack, I think it was. And they did the run meme.
Run. Yeah, that was good. I mean, the Bucks parts are, solid, but they're not the big lols. Spanglish was interesting again. They mixed Spanglish up.
Yeah. I thought, though, it wasn't too bad this week. I really loved having Austin Gunn next to the Cutler cam when they were recording, so you just hear this screaming all the time. And then we get on to the second Dark Order bit, which is Brody banning Twitch for no apparent reason because he's on Twitter, which I fucking love.
As I say, everybody gets one on the show, but you can do as many as you want on BTE for me. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Also, Brody is clearly having a fucking great time.
Yeah.
Just
Why the fuck does your phone have glitter? And just shit like that the whole time.
You missed the big Swolemu announcement being made by Ricky Starks.
Oh god, yeah, sorry, my mistake.
Pretty. He is pretty.
Then we had Anna Jay killing Griff Garrison.
Like she's the hardest member of them.
It does make me laugh, and
that was it. When he showed him the glitter phone, and Brody just went, "This is weird."
yeah, why the fuck do you have your phone have glitter? Just made me laugh.
Yeah.
They're really good together. Brody deserves more credit for his work in comedy because he's fucking fantastic at being this angry boss that's trying to.
This is weird. Properly broke me.
Yeah.
Just this is weird.
It's you. Why is it always you? Just fucking ruins me.
I know we originally had this theory that it was all about trying to make John Silver corpse, but I am starting to wonder whether whether the others are actually trying to make Brody corpse.
Oh, get him back.
Yeah.
Just turning up with a glittery phone and stuff.
This is weird. It seemed very organic. I think that's why. You might be right. They might be fucking with him to different degrees.
Beautiful.
And we had the clever emotional ending.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should have been on the show or improvised or something. I don't know how you break down the camera meta things for the main show without going full Lucha Underground, but they're showing a lot of heart and feeling on there that can only aid the mainstream story.
Like I said, I feel like you're missing a lot of it by having longer matches when you could have a bit more of the storytelling. Because as much as I love wrestling in a wrestling show, it's the least important part of the wrestling show.
Put it on
it is.
fucking Dark. Or just re-show those bits on Dark.
Yeah. Or on the main show. You could easily lose 5 minutes from one of the squash matches, you know? Just to have a recap at the best bits.
And then you can get away with it as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
So overall, what do you think?
The Elite. It was a good,
solid B. I would give it.
Solid B. I had a good time. I didn't look away too much.
There were lots of lols.
There were lots of. Yeah, there were.
It was a really silly one.
Yeah, and
Which is what we like the most.
I like a good silly one. So moving on, next on the list is Dark. So overall, what did you guys think of Dark, and any score for the end of it? It was a shorter Dark this week. So
It was shorter.
It's a shorter one, so I actually put some more effort into my notes. Thank God, as opposed to last time where it was like good, bad.
Good work.
First, we had Legacy versus Hobbs, which I was excited for because it actually shows Hobbs is getting matches now, not against just fucking jobbing to people. Did make it a bit obvious that he was going to win. His stats have shot up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So, like he's suddenly squashing people.
That's what happens when a creator wrestler has finally got through the practice bit.
You're not wrong.
I think he could do with a bit more being protected and just being this very squash character, almost, Goldberg at the start of his career. Very much protect him because he's, very green. But yeah, he did well in this match. I was very happy with that.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to see more of him.
Yeah.
I think he might need to work on the having willpower thing, so it doesn't become like Lance Archer was shouting, "Everybody died." He did have some good, a lot of good persona there. I'm excited for Hobbs.
Yeah.
Cage and Donati. Donati's music is ace, and I will say this every time. Solid squashy match. Got to see Cage do some of his more speed moves. But then he did the fucking Weapon X.
Fucking nowhere.
Nobody said a thing.
Nobody was even shocked. Yeah.
That move looks fucking baller. Like, I believe that Cage could tie me up around him and slam backwards. I like it a lot more than the drill claw. if I'm honest.
I don't know why they completely no-sold it on, commentary and everything. It should be oh my god, what the fuck was that,
Yeah.
Well, Taz was just like, yeah, he doesn't have to beat you with the drill claw. And I'm sitting there going, that's the weapon fucking X.
Yeah. Sell that move, please, guys. Come on.
Even if he doesn't make it his finisher, it would be a great signature.
Yeah. He turns a man into a pretzel. Come on. It's
And then
fantastic.
jumps backwards.
Maybe they have to be careful calling it the Weapon X.
Because of Wolverine, yeah.
There may be
trademarks.
Trademark issues. I don't know.
Maybe.
Weapon 10.
Weapon 10. Yeah, fair.
All right, okay, we'll roll into Griff versus Angelico, and I'm starting to think I don't like Angelico. The match was solid, and Griff's doing really well, and the spinning jump leg lock thing at the end was cool. But it's a very stop-start style of...
Yeah, I don't think you like the Mexican submission style. I think that's the issue here.
Why is Angelico, the man who used to leap off great tall things and has my all-time favourite leaping off tall high things out of nowhere, suddenly a mat submission wrestler?
On his way to his 40s, mate.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
I guess, you want to change your wrestling style when you get older, but it's just I don't think it gels well. I think like the British style catch can works a lot better than the Mexican style submission wrestling, and I think it just doesn't flow. I don't think enough people know it.
I don't think. I don't think. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I don't think it flows, especially. But I would, and the commentators are making such a big thing about it. If he just got on and was doing a load of submission stuff, and they just threw it in every now and again, and then was like but you've got to be careful when he flies, I probably would be a bit happier. Angelico was one of my favourites on Lucha Underground, so I'm probably a bit biased.
That's fair.
As I say, my favourite leaping off a tall thing, which somebody once tried to convince me that Shane McMahon's belly flop off the top of the lighting rig was more impressive.
No.
It really fucking isn't.
Yeah, but it's also maybe because we see Zack Sabre Jr. doing a lot better technical wrestler. I'm going to always put you in a hold move.
Zack Sabre Jr. seems to hit you, roll round you, come down in like the start of a submission, finish it off. Angelico seems to grab you, tie you into a knot.
Yeah.
It just takes a lot longer.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why I think the issue.
Give him credit. His finisher submission leg thing where he locked the legs in and span round onto the ground. That was wicked.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it'll clean up, but I'm not feeling Angelico at the moment.
Fair.
Jay and Skylar. This is the one with the least notes I had because my iguana was breaking out of her.
Of course she was.
It seems solid from what I saw. One of you two is going to have to go into it, and Morg is our women's expert.
It was an okay match. Anna's facial expressions are getting really good. She's coming across as really evil. Not easy for someone who is that pretty to do. And I don't mean that to sound sexist.
No.
Yeah,
you get what you mean, mate.
She is a very pretty, and she's coming across as actually proper Dark Order sort of.
I like how
evil.
Frustrated she feels. Like, why the fuck am I having to fight this loser?
A year she's been doing this.
Yeah.
She is a prodigy. I can't wait for a Baden to turn face and a Baden versus Anna Jay. I think that is the money match done properly.
Want to give them a year though, at least. Give them some more time to get better. But
but I don't know whether Anna Jay needs much more time to get better. Baden maybe, but I just think the facial expression. I think it'll all be down. I don't think it'll matter. It'll all be down to just the facial self from
just
Anna
psychology.
Jay. Yeah, it'll be psychology. If done properly, that could be really good, and I bet we'd all pop for it.
I 100% agree. I'd just like to see them build it up and give it time, because I think just because you don't have many women's storylines at the moment doesn't mean you should rush the ones you could build. So just build it slowly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But Abaddon needs to get some more wins on the quiet
100%.
at the minute.
Yeah.
She needs quietly creeping up that list. I don't want her facing Shida again, and your women's face side is actually terrible at the minute.
You've got
Shida and Swole. You've got Shida and Swole. That's it.
I think Swole's that good. No offense to her. I think, she does
And
well
they've
when
not really
she.
got many active women's heels at the
No.
moment either, realistically.
That's
You've got
fair.
Anna
That's
Jay,
also
who's
fair.
been popped up, and Nyla.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we're being hopeful for the women's and
Yes,
not complaining about it
100%,
because things
yeah.
seem on the up, and that match was solid.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
it was a good match.
roll into Eddie versus Lee, which I was quite excited for. Obviously,
Yep.
I put down Eddie, first name basis, me and him.
Your best mate.
Obviously, once again, really obvious match, but I think it got explained to me who Eddie is and how he fights in the ring. We had brawly stuff, we had some cocky stuff.
Yep.
T-bone suplex I've never seen before. That was cool as shit. Well, I
Yes.
probably have. I just noticed this. Lee's Blue Thunder Bomb is wicked. I hope he keeps that. Other than the fact, it was an obvious squash, you knew he was going to win. My only criticism would probably be the fact that Kingston's kept his old finisher of, what's it called? It's like Lucky Red or Roll the Dice or something like that. It's spinning back fist, which is fine, but Jericho uses a spinning back elbow. Swole uses a forward spinning elbow. Orange Cassidy
Superman
uses a
punch.
jumping elbow.
Yeah.
Is it going the way of the Tombstone pile driver?
Everybody's
Is
got a
my only
punch.
worry.
Yeah, an elbow strike. Yeah.
If anyone's got anything else to add to this one, I just thought it was a
think it didn't make Kingston look very strong, but I guess Kingston isn't meant to be very strong. He's just meant to be manipulating at the moment. I don't know.
I think he just likes having matches like Ricky Starks and stuff.
Yeah, 100% he does.
That came across to me that he's manipulative. I think
Yeah. So it's good. He's got his character across. I'm excited for more of him. Then we had Kiss and go on.
No, carry on.
We had Kiss and Serpentico, which was just a solid athletic display, if I'm honest. I've been critical of Sonny in the past, and I think this was just a fine back and forth. I didn't catch anything being really awkward or slow. Serpentico's fucking blown up the ratings and does loads of cool shit stuff for me now. Was not the Sonny stomp I was expecting it to be, and they actually put on a good show together. I really enjoyed it.
Felt like a proper dart match. It felt like it was
Exactly.
on to be a show, not, just to be, oh, here's somebody getting some more points. Woo, look at them. They're now higher in the rankings, It felt like an actual show.
I don't think either one of them came off looking particularly bad in this match. They both came off looking athletic, and we got to see lots of nice over the top. I would say high spots, but it was the kind of flippy shit that they can both do, and I do like flippy shit.
It was
flippy shit is
fantastic.
fucking wicked when it looks organic. When it gets that pause stop and they're not smooth together.
No.
But because Serpentico / John Cruz is also sort of a semi-comedy wrestler, if he does fall or anything, he really sells it in what he's doing. I'm becoming a fan.
He is really good. We used to mock him, saying he was the weakest of the luchadors, but I really enjoy him now. I think he's really good, and he's really grown on me.
And finally, Starks versus Ben Carter. And I'm sure I've seen Ben Carter before.
Probably.
On some other show or something. Otherwise, it was solid. Carter's got some really cool flippy shit. Starks is obviously mid-flippy, mid-technical. There was a stalling slam when Carter did some rolling thing, and Starks lifted him up, and he must have been full arm extension on Starks, and he stalled there for a couple of seconds before. I was like, fuck.
Obviously, no slouch.
No, once again, obvious finish, but just really good, enjoyable match. I'm getting that way with just every Starks match now, though. He gives everybody a go. The Rochambeau is really protected and looks badass. That's it. All in all, go on.
And then you have Taz making him sound like $1 million on commentary as well, waking him up on everything. So it's just perfect.
I think this Dark was a C. But I think if we didn't know what some of the endings were and we weren't a bit wrestling fatigued, it would have been a B. Is my feelings on it.
You're right there. I think it's just the problem is we know all these characters and we know their stats, and they're not doing anything to break the paradigm of main character A will beat jobber B,
We have not said a bad thing about any of these matches, realistically.
No, you're completely right, but they're not. I wouldn't
Well,
say
we
they're not.
watch it going.
I wouldn't say they're
Paige
not.
is going to win. So
Yeah.
you're watching the entertainment until it's like reading a really good book if you know the ending.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. It's just a little bit tarnished from that, and that's why it's not a B for me. It's a C because it's just and
How
it's
do you
hard to.
feel, Morg? I'm just going over Muir.
So
Fine.
I watched Dark after Dynamite. So it normally I watch it before, so I get a better view. But because of watching it after Dynamite, I don't think I was quite as high on it as I probably could have been. Yeah, I think you're right. I think had we not known the obvious outcomes of the matches, this would have been like one of the early Darks when we were really happy about it with some just good solid matches.
It's showing that we're going in a step in the right direction, though. We had two people who are main stars against each other. We've shown some other people competing and such. Like, I'm thinking we might be getting back onto the right track now, as they've accepted that the Rona just isn't leaving. You can't plan around it anymore, boys. It's here.
So a C for Dark this week. Moving on, we move on now to Dynamite. So Dynamite opens with an MJF and Jericho video segment. Our standard ruling is normally that we just go, it's MJF or it's Jericho. What do you think of them together?
It's just kind of funny. It's showing them as both being the two-faced fucking dick characters they are. Just a bit of fun at the start. I enjoyed it. Made me laugh.
Yeah, it was solid.
Yeah, So JR, Schiavone, and Excalibur on commentary. We open up with the Lucha Brothers, with Eddie Kingston and the Butcher and Blade versus Jurassic Express with Marco. Jurassic Express win after Pentagon accidentally gives Phoenix a Mexican destroyer. What do you think of the match before we get to the next bit? And what score did you give the match?
This was another match just to show that Phoenix is just getting more and more ludicrous, if I'm honest. It wasn't the smoothest of matches. There were quite a couple of little botches, but you could tell people were having fun. Penta had a lot of fun. There was a drop kick to Jungle Boy's face that made me shout, oof. Dean, Luchasaurus, did a slam thing on Phoenix that looked like it broke his neck for a bit, but I was like, thank God the camera saved this. It was how high did it's just Phoenix showcase basically. Did you see his diving headbutt where he went like 9 feet in the air off the turnbuckle?
Diving headbutts, kids.
Well, obviously don't do them, but it was fucking badass. He went really high. Phoenix is gonna kill himself one day. Yep. Then the finish. It started clumsy.
I want to say some things. I hate how Penta and Dinosaur's stats have been reversed since Lucha Underground. I fucking hate it. And just book Pentagon stronger. He's a fantastic tweener. Just book him as a fantastic singles tweener, for God's sakes. But it was
Lucha Underground.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was a solid match, though. I think I gave it a B because I just really enjoyed the spectacle of it. But,
I'm with you. I gave it a high C. I don't think I could make it a B because it featured a man accidentally Canadian destroyer.
You've got a good point there. But
I can take knees, I can take kicks, I can take clotheslams, people ducking.
Strange. Haven't you ever just been walking along next to your mate and just accidentally Canadian destroyed him, though?
Don't forget, it's a basic wrestling move.
It's one of the first things they teach you at wrestling. So, anybody can do it, mate. So why haven't you just done it to someone?
Yeah, I think the forcing, and I like Eddie Kingston, and I like Eddie Kingston with the Indie Boys, and obviously we're going to roll into the post thing with Eddie after this. But I think forcing these two people to have issues with each other, just so Eddie can make them friends again, it just seems a bit ham-fisted, especially when you have a man accidentally Canadian destroyer another man.
If P. Williams was dead, he'd be rolling in his fucking grave.
He has apologised for the Canadian destroyer on Twitter before.
As he should have.
Morg, you're going to have to... Is it a C or a B? What did you think?
See, I gave it C/B.
You
Oh,
see,
you son of a bitch! I'm giving it a C. A man Canadian destroyed somebody.
Well,
by
if I
that's
give it,
that's not part of the fucking match. That's the shitty story they're telling around it. You vote on
It
the
was
match.
in the match.
It's not
That
part of the
happened.
match.
It is if you do a Canadian destroyer on somebody before the match and that leads to the pin, it's part of the match. If it is the pinning finishing move, it's in the match.
Looks
It's not
attacked
like
on
Eddie
for this.
came down to
Shit.
go, yo, what up, eat sandwiches, and then he slipped and Canadian destroyed him. Then I'd agree with you.
Mate,
But
imagine if he
that.
slipped on a banana peel and fucking Canadian destroyed him from that. Now that would have been gold. Why
Go on.
does Eddie Kingston sound like he's like a drunk person at 2 a.m.? You're my best friend! You're my best friend!
He is the worst couples counsellor.
Yeah.
He's awful at it. Where
great.
is Blade's wife?
So yes, after this, Eddie Kingston in-ring promo with the guys as they argue, trying to get Penta and Fenix to shake hands. What did you think of the promo?
I just wanted them to break up because I know how great they are as singles competitors. But you know, it was all right promo though.
It's fine. The story's
So
just
forced.
so fucking forced. Why did Eddie ask Blade about his wife? His wife's in the tag team with Brandy Rhodes.
Where's your wife gone?
He's not doing anything spooky with another faction, is she? Shut up, Eddie.
Shut up, she's a plant. You know? I just wanted Penta just to fucking annihilate Phoenix and just walk off and then, you know, start breaking arms.
I've written a note that makes no sense to me. I've written he's right about the Royal, though, and I have no idea what that means. Not a clue. Or it might not be Royal. Royce? Man.
Who are you talking about?
Eddie Kingston. I've got notes on the promo and I just can't fucking read them, but I'm so angry about another man Canadian destroying another man.
It was fucking bollocks, mate. So is Ali in character married to the Blade, or is that like I didn't know that.
Eddie asked where his wife was. The entire section's getting a C. It's a big C section, and I own the pen, so you two can't find me.
You own the one pen we have. Is that what you're saying now?
The worst thing is I'm actually using a pencil, and I realised I was wrong as I put it down.
I've got 3 pens in front of me, you basic bitch.
Moving on. Move on, Morg. Take control.
So after that, it's the Jake Roberts and Lance Archer promo. Again, what did you think? Any score for this one, or is it just the standard sort of affair?
I've got some opinions on this. I'll let Morg go. Morg. I'll let Muir go first, though.
I like that Lance is coming out of his shell a bit and actually like trying to do a bit of proming. You know, he's not just going everybody dies. He ends things with it, but I'm happy with him just ending things with it. But yeah, it's a lot better from him. What do you think?
I'm basically with Muir. There were some mic echo production issues in this when promos began. I don't know if you guys had that, just like really echoey sound from the start, and that pissed me off a bit.
I'm guessing it was the set they were on was, you know, very echoey.
I know, but you leave a pause to your sounds rebalance before you begin the promo, because if the first bit of the promo, like somebody at a swimming pool announcing the waves are now, it's going to lose that impact from the start.
100%, mate. I agree with you.
Either way, it's nice that Jake's teaching Lance. He wasn't great at it, but he's coming round. You know, it's like a low C grade. He's earning his place, and I've got hope for him. He's got a great look, and if he can not just be
just screaming everybody dies, though, ain't it?
Exactly that. I've got high hopes. You got anything on it, Morg?
No, I thought it was all right.
One question though. Was he painted underneath with everybody dies?
God, was he painted?
Yeah, this is the thing we have to ask each week. So, moving swiftly on, we then had a Matt Hardy in-ring promo, and I've just looked ahead of my notes and realised I've actually missed something. We had a Matt Hardy in-ring promo, basically talking about what had happened with his match at All Out. What did you guys think of it, and did you give it a score?
I didn't give it a... Oh, sorry. You carry on.
It's all right. The first thing that I noted was that the in the background, the same cheer track was running for the entirety of it. There were just people going, yeah, just over and over in the background. And that pissed me off. So that
You
wasn't
sure
a
it
good
wasn't
start.
just some like semi-infused fan just going over and over again?
It's Austin Gunn.
If he managed to follow that same distant pattern of cheering for like the 15 minutes or however long this fucking promo went on for,
Yes, mate.
in the same pattern, then fair play. He's a very musical man. I didn't get this. If I was to rank it, I'd probably give it a D. It didn't contribute to the story. Matt Hardy just came out and went, I am very lucky to be Matt Hardy and be a wrestler. That is my wife. I like wrestling. I'm not going anywhere. Things have not gone. He just walked out, explained that he's a wrestler, bored the shit out of me and left.
I think it was nice that he tried to I don't know, because it's like I can see where he was going for. He was basically going, I'm sorry I fucked up during that match, That's
Get over
basically the
it.
premise of it,
If they released another season of Game of Thrones, some of the characters walked out onto the screen and spent 15 minutes explaining why the end of the last season was bad.
I get you, mate. I get you. But this is a BTE segment, in my opinion. This is what this should have been. Him going, I'm sorry on that, or some joke about that.
He does it on Twitter. He talks about things all the time. He records videos on Twitter. He's got a YouTube channel. It's not a place for my 2 hours primetime television.
Exactly, when we could have had some of these Dark Order promos or some of the other good bits from Dark, like the Hangman BTE
Imagine
bit.
if a woman had a promo.
Oh! Is that even allowed in modern
No, we're not allowed those.
Okay, good. I just wanted to check.
Only Britt Baker.
Okay.
So the Raptor, I take the Raptor's take on this one. She thought this was quite a good cover for what they were doing, but it was very strained because he was trying to apologize out of character, but in character. And that was kind of the problem of, rather than coming out and going, I made a dumb call and shouldn't have shouldn't have tried to force them to let me wrestle. It should have been almost a character break. This one, this should have been. I can't say a pipe bomb promo because it wouldn't be, but this should have been almost a character break. This almost should have been a retirement speech style, where he should have come out and sort of gone, look, you all know me as Matt Hardy, the character, the wrestler, the broken Matt.
As Strange said, why do we need this on our show?
Yeah, well, because AEW wanted him to go out and apologize for it because they were getting flack for letting the match continue. Possibly. That's my suggestion.
Let Twitter arrange your
television show.
Yeah, tape your television show, and then if you want to do stuff like that, sort it out on YouTube with you being the elites or your darks. Keep your television show as a TV show, not as an apology show.
Yeah, that's how it came across to me. Anyway, moving on. Angelico with Jack Evans versus Orange Cassidy, and I didn't write down who won because the match was that short. I don't think I had time to write it down. I'm guessing it was Orange Cassidy with the Superman punch.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. What did you think of the match? What score did you give the match before we get to what happened afterwards?
I've literally got written 2 lines, which are they're 2 different scale people, because Angelico is just a blown up Orange Cassidy in size and looks. And fine. I gave it a C. I literally got nothing.
It was just a squash. Well, it wasn't even a squash. Oh well, whatever.
Yeah, what did you give it?
I gave it C, very short.
I gave it a D. It's like, why did we need this? We could have had this longer if we didn't have a Matt Hardy section that went on through the eons of time before it.
They still say that Matt Hardy promo is going today.
Yes, mate.
Alongside Randy and Edge.
You beat me to it.
Did they come through the back of it?
Yeah, exactly.
After that, we had a Proud and Powerful run in. Best Friends come out for the save. Setting up more stuff towards this Best Friends versus Proud and Powerful payoff match. Are we going to get?
Yes, and so maybe a cage or something like that.
What the match they're going to have?
Yeah,
that they said it's going to be.
Oh, Street Yard. Yeah, sorry.
Remember just before? Now I like the Best Friends, and they make me laugh, and I'm amused. I'm pleased the feud isn't instantly over, which is what normally happened, and I'm glad Chucky T got some time on the mic in the ring in front of people. But just before lockdown, they made the exact same promo at the Lucha Brothers when that was meant to be their feud. They did just meet us outside in the parking lot next week. They did exactly the same thing, and it's just sort of resonated through the Rona onto Proud and the Powerful.
It's amazing how that works.
But maybe they're going to be the street fight people. I'd be down with that, but I don't know. I don't know if you two picked up on the fact it was exactly the same thing.
To be honest, I'd forgotten that they had the feud with the Lucha Bros beforehand. Because it got cut off at the knees, not because it wasn't something that I was looking forward to. My only slight problem with it is dumb as shit. Why would you call Proud and Powerful the Street Thugs out to a street fight?
You're from Chikara and DDT.
That's fair.
I'm a proper street fight. I was once in a match where Ibushi fired a rifle at me.
Yeah, mate. They do have the stats for a street fight.
That's fair.
I have been DDT. I have been tombstone pile drived down a water flume and into a lake.
At least they didn't get hit by a go-kart. I think that's
my absolute fucking favourite thing I've seen in DDT. Clotheslining a man from a speeding go-kart. But yeah, otherwise, it was neutral.
Yeah.
I think people will start getting annoyed at Best Friends versus Proud and the Powerful matches, as we've had quite a few, and plus a couple of them in mixed tags against each other and stuff.
Well, I think this is the payoff. I think this is the rubber match officially, because you had the win from Best Friends, the win from Proud and Powerful, where they didn't have to apologise to Sue, and I think this is the payoff rubber match officially.
Need to be on every show, though, do they? As much as I like the Best Friends,
I think that's probably our feelings on it. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it next week? Well, / this week that the this match is?
Yeah, I think it's this week. I'm not as big a Best Friends fan as you guys, and I'm not tired of it. So, as the casual Best Friends fan, I'm not tired of it. I'm quite looking forward to the final payoff where the baby faces get triumphant over the couple of street thugs. So, if that helps you two massive Best Friends fanboys feel a bit better about it.
It does. And as I said, I hope they go full Japan and we have some fucking wackiness, because the boys are great at it. We should move on.
Following on to that, we had a Young Bucks segment. Now, what did you think of this? And again, did you decide to give it a rank at all?
I don't have a rank, but I'm just going to tell Nick what I've written as my comment, and we'll see hopefully it's up to you to interpret this. My entire my entire review of this section just says keck.
It's just like
just heck. What happened? I've forgotten. It's been a week.
They super kicked Marvez, didn't they?
Oh yeah. The obvious heel turn malarkey.
Yeah. They're going in for themselves. They stop helping everybody else in the elite and all this bollocks. Whatever.
And then the grandma sings a song, and Maui comes back to help them make it to the island.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Right, okay, cool. Just so I know where we are in the story.
Well, it could be The Rock who does it.
Hey, if The Rock showed up I used to enter the kitchen at work, and the kitchen I've worked the longest to The Rock's intro music.
So there has been a rumor that apparently The Rock has a show or something that is intertied with TNT or something similar, and there is a possibility that
Vince would explode.
But I hate to tell you this, Vince, but The Rock's bigger than you.
Yeah, Vince doesn't care.
It'd be worth it just to watch Vince.
You're owned by Vince.
The Rock turning up on AEW could give Vince McMahon the aneurysm we need.
I mean, it could. What to save wrestling?
You know, I'm just saying, The Rock won't wrestle, but he might turn up for a
promo, yeah.
For a promo, and that would break the internet. So moving on to just a small part of the night, Kip Sabian comes out to cut an in-ring promo to introduce his best man. He brings out first out comes his latest Twitch follower, really plugging that Twitch. Then out comes Pillman, and then he introduces his actual best man, and it's Miro. I know you two had this ruined for you on YouTube. I didn't recognize his blonde hair, but I got to witness the Raptor mark out for this because she spotted who it was and actually read the thing that said Miro in big letters that I think I was looking over at her to watch her reaction to go, do you know who this blonde guy is? And she's like, it's Miro. And I'm like, and my brain went, Miro. Oh, fucking hell. At which point I got to mark out, thank you very much, Mr. Muir, for taking the hit for us on
It's
the
okay.
YouTube spoiler and warning us beforehand, because we were about to turn YouTube on and the Raptor said, hang on, there's spoilers on there. Are you sure you want to do that? And I went, shall we watch Dynamite instead of watching the thing we were going to watch on YouTube? What did you guys think about this? And did you give it a rank for the segment?
Right, shall I go in as most cynical, least knowing of
Yeah,
the WWE
go on, mate.
people? All right, so I thought the start was a bit of cheap theatre humour, but I get it. You know, not the best man, blah, blah, blah. Bit shit, but okay. Wrestling.
Mate.
And then Miro came out, and I was like, oh, I don't really know. Then it sort of clicked a bit later. I didn't get a pop because I don't really know him. I'm sorry about that. It's not out of any particular dislike for the man. I just don't know him. They did say a lot about Twitch, and I'm not sure if that sort of diminished his entrance for me. And of course, he got his WWE pop, which is fine. Everybody gets one. I don't know if the brass ring has any, or gold ring has any exceptional relevance.
The brass ring is a huge thing. It's Vince McMahon's grabbing the brass ring.
It's what wrestlers are meant to do. They're meant to grab the brass ring, but every time anybody does grab that brass ring, he'll just bury the fuck out of you.
Yeah, if you grab it,
off and gives it to Roman Reigns. That's Roman Reigns' ring.
Yeah, get off it.
Pretty much.
Yes,
pretty
mate.
much. The Punk mentioned it in the Pipe Bomb promo that he'd grabbed so many of Vince McMahon's imaginary brass rings. The other obvious one is Matt Cardona.
Yeah,
the guy who got himself so over it was unreal, and the same Rusev is another one who got
Rusev
himself.
Day was massive.
Rusev Day was huge, and then they put him in a cuckold storyline with his actual real wife.
Yeah, because why not?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a C. For me, it was fine. It didn't really pop me exceptionally, but I didn't hate it. You know, it was a fine introduction to a new wrestler. Go on, Muir.
You've ruined my notes now, because I was like really excited he was coming out in PJs and be like looking like a slob. I kind of liked it. I thought, wow, he's finally appealing to the gamer in me. You know, sitting in your PJs playing video games. But now I found out that they're millions of pounds worth of clothing. It's ruined. And my comments is, oh no, not the brass ring, because they always have to go on about it, and I'm just a bit, tired of the AEW, WWE evil, But yeah, I'm excited to see Miro. I can see him turning very quickly on Mr. Kip, unfortunately for him. But yeah, I think he's going to be good, and it would be nice to see him as a face, I feel.
I'm actually wondering. So if you're pushing your Twitch channel and you want people to come and watch it, is being a heel the best thing you can do? Or are we looking at a Kip, and Kip is so charismatic and he's so pretty, and Penelope is so pretty and so charismatic? Are we looking at bringing Miro in and it's just going to be a full way quick turn?
All of them turn face.
They'll just be a face tag team. We'll have maybe a couple of heel runs at the beginning, and then you'll just turn them as the babyface gamer crew. To AEW's answer to the New Day.
Both of them being face, yeah. But we'll see what happens.
Would you hate a Kip face turn if he was just a dickhead face? Straight.
I love dickhead faces.
We love dickhead faces here.
It's our MO. Dave Austin gonna be for it earlier just for being a dickhead.
Yeah, I mean, and you've also got the other flip side of it. If you've just turned the Bucks heel.
Yeah, fair, but
there's an opening for a babyface.
What are we ranking this then, boys?
So for me, it was the pop was there for me. It's somebody I've been waiting to come for AEW, hoping would come to AEW. They haven't put him into the higher standard. They've put him with Kip, but we saw that Kip can do that next step up.
Yeah.
Was that a car going past?
It was a jam jar full of bees, which is weird because everything has been silent up until this point. Sorry, boys.
It's all right. Yeah, for me it was a C because I knew he was coming. It ruined it for me, and it was just like, yeah, I'm glad to see Miro happy. He looked very happy, which I like to see in my wrestlers.
Was it a B or an A for you, Morg?
I think it was a B because there was too much faff-arsing around at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I
am willing to round it up to a whole B. Rule of threes?
The rule of three. So you bring out the wrong person, you bring out the wrong person, you bring out the right person. The rule of three in comedy.
Felt too panto-y for me.
So, yeah.
I am willing to knock it up to a B because you understood the pop better than I did.
And I liked the brass ring pop. I thought that was one of the better digs at WWE so far, actually, because it's a very classic one.
I've had an old man not underestimate me before is the best one, and I will fight people.
that one was particularly good, but I like the brass ring one because it's such an iconic thing to actually. We're getting a lot of it at the minute. Max Cardona's one was really good as well, to be fair. So, but yeah, tone down now, guys. You've got them. Just fucking push them as something that isn't failed WWE mid-carders.
Yeah, make them into their own characters. Don't make them into WWE rejects.
And we'll get on to Matt Cardona later because I've actually been thinking about that at work today. So moving on from that, Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela versus Jericho and Hager in a no DQ match. Hager wins with the Uranagi, or as I wrote down, the rock bottom with a line through it because I couldn't remember what its real name was. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
That was good.
I forgot my job is to remember the name of complicated moves.
My top comment on this, because I really didn't enjoy this match, was I'm glad to see Jake Hager is now the human brick wall instead of rock hard Jake Hager.
You leave big stiffy Jake Hager alone. He was wearing boxers again.
He was.
I actually thought it was solid. Like, it didn't blow my mind or anything. I enjoyed it. It just didn't do anything massive for me. It was, once again, AEW has done this thing, and I am the man who likes hardcore wrestling, and I am the man who likes no DQ matches and a bit of blood in my matches and stuff. Why do they keep having no DQ matches if you're just not going to do anything no DQ till the end?
Don't ask me, mate.
Just have regular matches. They probably do better. It's neither of their forte. Nope. Just let them have a match, But otherwise, it was fine. I enjoyed it surprisingly, and I gave it a C.
I was giving it a C, but I just didn't like. It did literally nothing for me. Like, I watched it; it was okay, but
Morgan?
C.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, everybody, your name's not even Morgan. That's your surname.
Carry on.
It's where the more comes from. C. This was followed by a Jericho in-ring promo. What did you think of that?
Jericho in it. Jericho does Jericho things. Solid. I was, content.
Building up his heel party. His new heel tag team. Yeah, it's good.
Now I am in a tag team with Iron Dick Jake Hager.
Fuck's sake.
His feud with Joey Janela and Sonny, because the best friends will beat Private Party, so they need to shuffle the inner circle onto feuds with other people who aren't as over.
Nah, it's all setting up for his feuds with the brand new babyface gamer team.
Nah, fair.
No, actually that's a good move. Jericho gets everybody over.
Yeah, he does.
Jericho versus Miro, Jericho versus Kip, Hager versus Miro would be really good.
Nah, I'd rather see Wardlow. Wardlow versus Miro.
Wardlow's face turn is going to be wonderful.
Yeah,
but you've also got Wardlow. So that was a very good segue there. We move on to an MJF promo. Again, with our standard fair here is it was an MJF promo. Was it anything special, did you think?
I gave it a B. I think this one actually had a bit more story. It showed that threat again. We got to hear Wardlow's incredibly deep voice. And apparently MJF owns his family.
This is my note. Is like, how is Wardlow going to turn face if MJF literally owns his family?
Owns his family. Shit, son. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think this is a good lead into the plot line that we needed to make. MJF has established himself as a heel. He's got time to lose some matches and come back.
Yep.
It's MJF with his inevitable future rivalry with Jungle Boy, and now he's got the perfect opportunity to build somebody else. So I'm excited.
The greatest stipulation match ever, where Wardlow has to free his family from servitude of MJF in a match.
As long as it's a ladder match. Morg, do you enjoy it?
Custody of
the Wardlow
family. Yes, mate.
Wardlow family on a pole match. More on that later. I thought it was good. Hopefully, this is a slow burn Wardlow face turn.
Yeah, exactly that.
But it needs to be a slow burn. I think you might be jumping a gun a little bit.
It can't be fast. MJF owns his family.
When you got that, I think the best past analogy to this is the Batista turn, and that was one of the best big guy badass face turns ever that I can think of, and you want to be mirroring that a little bit.
Well, he has to earn his family out of serfdom, so by the time they're free.
Yeah. So following on from MJF owning Wardlow's family, we had a Mox promo. Again, our standard rule with Mox promos is, it's a Mox promo. It was good. What did you guys think of this? Did this one get a rank?
I've actually just written not his coolest.
Yeah,
that's my review of it. I think it slipped a little bit on the old Mox scale.
Wasn't the best. I just put Mox. That's all my comment.
To be fair, if you put Mox, that generally does mean it's just a standard Mox. Yeah, it was a Mox promo. I've got it written down as Mox promo. I'm obviously our Mox, more of our Mox fan. Here. It was okay. It was good setup, ready for moving on to Lance Archer. I'm a little concerned with this one because I don't think Lance was the right person for him to go against. I think you could have given this to Eddie Kingston, and I think Eddie Kingston would have been fine, and he could have eaten a pin for Mox, and you could have had a real hard
actual hardcore match. Yeah.
And I think Kingston was the right guy. I think he had the right gimmick. I think it'd be after you've done that whole thing of with MJF, you could have had Eddie Kingston going, well, I'm walking into your world. I've been in there before.
Well, you never know because Kingston still hasn't been eliminated, so maybe he'll get a match from it.
I mean, you're not wrong. They did acknowledge that, which greatly pleased me.
Yeah, okay.
He was not kicked out, and I was like, oh my god, they're right. He climbed the rope himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you're both right. I think that would be a better move, and I think I would appreciate that more as well. I like Lance. He's had good matches with Mox in the past. They had a feud over the Intercontinental in NJP.
It was the American belt.
Yeah, which is probably why they're doing it. They know it's an adequate set of matches.
It's a good match,
Gonna win.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, okay. So, giving Mox somebody he's already got chemistry with. If they've had good matches before, they've got chemistry. That could be interesting. Though they managed it with Brody Lee. To be fair, so this could Mox and. They could possibly get away with it, setting up for the future Mox to lose to Kenny. Full circle story. So maybe now you've told me that, and thinking back with the Brody Lee match, I might be a little bit less sour on Lance losing to Mox, because if you can do it the way you did with Brody Lee, where Lance still comes out looking like a badass.
I'm just worried that that's the second big loss Lance has had, and it's just a bit, I don't know.
Heels, Nick. They don't matter.
I know. I just not accepted this yet.
I do wonder whether Lance is actually one of the ones where it just doesn't matter. To be honest, where it actually won't matter because he'll still just be a fucking monster that everybody dies. Do you know what I mean? Whether his gimmick is strong enough to get through.
Or is he just entropy in the end?
The only issue with this is it's the Dragon Ball Z problem.
Yeah.
If you continuously introduce characters that can't beat your main character, when you do bring in somebody who can, he has to annihilate every other person you've had before. Whoever beats Mox has to be able to beat Lance Archer and beat Cage.
Yep.
Is it A Game Kenny?
And we're gonna have to see
is it Best Bout Machine Kenny?
I assume so.
But is that also an acceptable person?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Best Bout Machine Kenny. Well,
he's strong enough to defeat Mox in, storyline. He's held the top belt in NJPW while Mox only had the American. So, yeah.
Yeah, but then once again, I've just been given the most obvious storyline ever.
What?
We've just gone back to the first storyline, which is fine. We're going through it, and if he turns into Cleaner Kenny and goes on this rampage, then he's obviously going to be the only person who could beat Mox. I don't know. I just feel like we're going down a very linear set of routes where I go, this person's going to lose, this person's going to lose, this person's going to lose.
Then it's going to be Hangman. Yep. Then it's going to be Hangman that takes it off him.
Yeah. That's my only issue is we're not embiggening any heels. We're turning faces to beat them.
Yeah.
So just as a counterpoint, and just because while we're in this discussion, do you think so? One of the things that I've criticised WWE for in the past is that moment where the fans have called what's going to happen because the story has made sense for that to happen, and Vince has lost his shit and gone, "Oh, well, we can't have that. They've worked it out," and taken away the actual proper, sensible, progressive storyline. Is this actually the sensible, progressive storyline? That it's the build up to Kenny becoming.
Yes, but only because they've stomped every other heel they've been over.
Okay, so it's not been the set.
It could have been Cage. When Cage walked in, came out from under all that stuff, got that thing, I was like, maybe Cage can win.
Brody Lee as well.
Brody Lee with the initial one. So arguably yes, but on the other hand, only in the same way that any other option they've taken away. So now it has to be Kenny. If they hadn't have broken them up and Kenny and Hangman had just been good at tag teaming, arguably taken away the best story in the storyline, don't get me wrong. There's nothing to say that Cage couldn't have beaten Mox and Kenny could have come and taken it off Cage after he'd been just a fucking wall juggernaut. Same with Brody, same with any other one.
Yeah,
that's my only issue. I'm sure it will be great. I'm sure the storytelling and acting between Kenny and Hangman will be phenomenal.
Yeah,
just feel I've been a bit led down. Like I
can see the next year of storytelling here.
Exactly. But they have turned things on their heads before. We've been wrong.
100%.
And let's be fair to them as well. We have been wrong more times than we've been right so far.
I'd rather they told us good story that I could see coming than they told us shit story they changed because people saw it coming, though. Definitely.
Let's see where it goes.
So let's move on to the FTR in-ring promo / celebration. What did you think of this, and did you deem it a score?
Thought this was a little rubbish.
Tully's still got game, though, yo.
Yeah, he does, mate.
The typical poison compliment section. Anything that got me is when they were like, "We are now your locker room leaders" and stuff, and all, and like, "You are not going to get a title shot" and things. I was like, "You don't get to make these decisions. These aren't decisions that wrestlers make."
And this really isn't a decision you make because it's all to do with the rankings.
Yeah, exactly. I did laugh at nobody with a stupid gimmicks getting a title shot or whatever it is. That did make me chuckle.
That's good, but it just wasn't that good in my opinion.
I've written down that it was weird, and I hate Marco. That's also on there.
Of course, it's on there.
I think he was being
he was just being in his face, above his stature.
I would like to point out that we did have a wrestling segment with a cake, and it ended with people just eating the cake.
I mean, that's got to be a thirst thing.
You're not wrong. They did actually eat the
Raptor point. Raptor was the one who was most pleased and pointed this out to me. Nobody sat in the cake. Nobody got pushed into the cake, and it did end with wrestlers eating the cake.
Madness to me.
It can have my special 2020 Matthew Strange's Unexpected Paradigm Break Award. Nobody expected this to happen. Here you go. Shame the moment was weird. Do you like it more? Oh, go on.
It didn't make FTR look strong, though. It made them look weak as shit. It's like, after this strong victory on the pay-per-view, and then they just get fucking annihilated by a load of cake-eating faces.
Yeah, why have FTR become chicken shit heels when they
I
are...
don't know. They were meant to be these badass heels have just come for the money, and now they're chicken shit heels taunting people in the middle of the ring. It's like, what the
Well, they were
fuck's going on?
badasses who come for the money when they were faces, and then they turned heel and they turned into chicken shit heels. Who
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with them being manipulative and manipulating Hangman.
100%. That was cool.
They're heels now in AEW, so they instantly start losing everything. Don't you understand this? They've had their win, now they lose.
They've lost all their stats because they've come
Their
here.
skills have just fallen out the fucking floor.
I mean, I like baby faces overcoming.
Yes.
I am the group fan of baby faces, but
Yeah.
nobody came out of
You've
this.
got to have a threat to overcome.
This was C/D for me. I
Yeah.
was not overly impressed with it.
It was D for me, apart from the pointing out that the cake was actually eaten, because that
think
sort of
that's
made it a
what
C for me.
Yeah, that rescued it.
And that's a shit show, really, isn't it?
Strange, you're going to have to
God.
make the overriding through the decision that from the garbled mess that me and Muir have given you.
It's a D, boys. It's
It
a
is.
D.
Okay.
He gets an award for eating the cake. He gets a bonus point for the cake, but it's not enough to rank it up.
Okay, so moving on. Taz joins the commentary team, and Ricky Starks comes out dressed as Darby and cuts a
So good.
promo.
Were you going first then, Muir?
No,
Jump in.
you go on. You're the Starks boy. Fucking
He's
loved it,
fucking
though.
wicked. I'm great. I'm not sure he needs to do the coming out as Darby again thing. I think we've seen that, and I don't think it really added to it. But
I think it did, because he's injured, and he's taking the piss out that he was always injured, you know? So I'm coming out as you because you're not here, because you're injured again, because you're an idiot.
yeah, but he did the coming out as Darby to, basically mock him. I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm just saying it didn't necessarily need to be done. I love everything Ricky Starks does. I think he's got swagger. He's got style. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's fucking phenomenal. And I want him in not every show, because I always complain when somebody's in every show, but in a lot of shows. Next.
Yeah, I still think that it was fine for him to come out this time, because it was a build on to him saying that he wrestles like a crash test dummy in the last one. And now he's out injured because he wrestles like a fucking crash test dummy.
No, I'm fine with the promo happening.
Yeah.
I just don't think he needed to be dressed as Darby.
I thought it was good.
Is he really injured, or is he just injured because Starks
Probably.
put him in a body bag and he took a blind bump with no
It's Darby
thumbtacks
Allin.
left in it?
He could be injured at any point from just doing something silly in his own time, mate. I don't know if he's actually injured, but,
Yeah, I thought he was storyline injured.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Yeah. It was
I think
good.
it's ranked. Just so he's reaching that level of like Mox and MJF. Darby Starks comes out, does Starks thing, and he's great.
Yeah.
Basically. Not to overblow him, but he is amazing.
He is great.
So, moving swiftly on, we had our 5 minutes of women's match. Oh, sorry. It was Ty Conti versus Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero. Nyla wins with the Beast Bomb. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
Wasn't that smooth? There were a lot of good ideas in this match that would have looked wicked if they'd just been a bit tighter, basically. Otherwise, I thought it was fine. I think Conti's going to do well when she's picked up and such like. Nyla's obviously got it down now. Yeah, I gave it a C. I thought it was all right.
It was really nice to see Ty being so excited to be there. She was like trying not to cry when she was coming out, which is, really quite sweet to see someone so happy to have a job somewhere. It's always nice to see someone happy. Yeah, she's so good for how long she's been in the ring, What is she, like 2 years experience? And she's doing really well. And, like you said, Nyla's got it down nowadays. She knows what she's doing as a heel. It's, it was solid.
She knows her role. She knows exactly what
Yeah.
she's doing.
Yeah.
I thought Nyla sold for Ty, so they made Ty didn't look weak. I think you're saying about the 2 years thing. Ty Conti does have that one advantage that we discussed before, is that she's got the judo background, which is a real.
Yeah, but still,
it just gives you an advantage on the. I think you pick it up really quick. So is she a baby face now? I'm not sure. I'm a bit confused.
Save at the end. It should have been Anna Jay who came out to save her. That's what we knew. We were ready for. TJ.
Yeah.
So maybe we've got a plot where Shida will try to win her over to not being evil, and the Dark Order will win her. Will go the other way. Could be interesting. We need more info.
Oh, I like that. That I would like. Yeah, that would be an interesting story.
A women's storyline, not too complicated.
Yeah.
For a few weeks, we get some character from
everyone,
all three.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't matter which way we end. We've had a women's transitional storyline. Hooray!
And it'll help get Ty Conti's character over. Yeah, I really like that.
And Anna Jay as well.
And Anna Jay. Well, I think we know Shida's character. She's just a fucking badass wrestler, badass baby face. She doesn't need anything else, to be honest. And we know Anna Jay now. She's getting the face. So I think giving Ty Conti some kind of character would be good, more than just wrestling in a judoka. So following that, we had a JR.
We haven't ranked it, yo. What are we giving it?
Sorry. What
did you give it?
I gave it a C.
Okay, C's all round then, boys.
Yep.
But with high expectations for the future.
Yeah, that could go somewhere.
C. Yeah.
JR and Kenny interview segment. What do you think of the segment, and did you give it a score?
Tie this in with the Hangman segment before. I really enjoyed both of these because Hangman just thinking he's a fuck up, hoping that he can get it back together with Kenny. And then Kenny's just like, nah, fuck this. I've done this for a year now. I'm going back to being a singles competitor. Was quite sad and quite a good story. I quite enjoyed this between the two of them.
Yeah, it's a nice conclusion to what's going on.
Yep.
Either one independently doesn't work so well, but put together, we've got our story advancement, and I think pretty much all of us have been in the Hangman Page situation where we've really fucked shit up, and then you start to realize. So I don't know. I kind of want to give them a B together, but I don't know if we're just sort of enjoying the story and riding along.
I think it was a really good progression of that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's actually fair. I think to give it that score, I think that was good. If we rank it, I think you're right. It's a B, but we have to put them together because that's what makes it. That's what's sealed.
Yeah, it's the. We had a lot of story in this episode.
Good, wasn't it? Actually building some storylines.
So, following on from that is the TNT title match. It is Dustin Rhodes versus Brody Lee. Brody wins with a discus lariat. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
Just say before this, I really enjoyed this episode of Dynamite. So everything I say after this is completely to do with just this match. Okay? Just making this clear for everyone. Thank you.
I also have had a great episode up until this moment in the show where, up until this point, I think my highlight of the match is the fact that Excalibur said, I am the table.
Yes, that was the best part of this match, and that Brody actually won in the end. That was the only two, good things.
I'm literally, holding the sides of my head, building up to let my feelings out of this, because I don't want to go on too much, because I know we've got to and stuff.
Yeah, but fuck me. Fuck me.
Why can't...
You go first.
It's not even. Brody won. Great. Cool. We want heels to win, and I don't mind people giving heels a struggle. I'm not a fan of squashy matches. But we have just watched Brody a few weeks back fucking annihilate Cody. And I'm not even going to say this was a close match. I'm not... It's not like Dustin came in and the commentators said that he's powered by pure rage and anger or anything like that.
He's doing it for his brother, man.
Dustin just walked in, kicked fucking shit out of Brody for ages, did his fucking awful destroyer, then ate a lariat and ended. That was it. That was the fucking match.
fucking awful. What the fuck
We
was
need to get
this?
Dustin over. Do we need to think Dustin's harder than
I'm
every other
I'm
place?
52 years old.
He's harder than Cody now.
Yep.
Harder than everybody else. Just fucking annihilated it. I don't get it, and it pissed me off. And now I'm talking about it, I'm more pissed off. Why can't heels have any fucking time in this?
Needs
They
to be squashed
finally
instantly.
gave one a belt. They finally gave one a fucking belt. And okay, yeah, sure, he won this match. He lost the match before. The Dark Order lost the other matches. And then an old man kicks fuck out of him for 20 minutes, but he wins at the end. It was bollocks. Next.
You know, like in the old days where the old terms slip on a banana peel. They're like winning the whole match, and then they slip on the banana peel and the other guy gets a win. And people like Hulk Hogan said that was them putting the person over. This is like what Dustin did to fucking Brody here. Oh, slip on a banana peel at the end and you can win. It's like, oh, fuck off, mate. Why you got these stats, boy?
Really pissed me off. Morg, you have to be positive about it because we hated it.
I gave it no score at all.
Okay.
Because I couldn't make a decision. It was either a C or a D. It was either a C because it was actually a well put together match.
It was a good match. Like the actual, like there was some good moves in it, and it was like a good match out of context. It was an all right match.
The outcome and I said to you guys before this that this should have been Dustin now gets annihilated by Brody Lee. You can have the rest of the Dark Order be a bunch of gimps and idiots because it doesn't matter.
No,
because they've got Brody Lee and he's the exalted one. The idea is he should be carrying them for their inevitable breakup and him to go off and have his solo run when we've got his character over. I don't know. The match was not terrible, but the story within the match hurt it for me.
We've got the rare situation where the wrestling is fine and the story has ruined it. This is quite a rare D because I'm giving it a D more.
It's definitely a D.
This is the rare D where essentially just bad storytelling has fucked it. Normally it's due to a match being clumsy or difficult story and bad match. Technically fine.
100%. None of them really made any mistakes. It was smooth enough, but I was angry watching this. Actually angry.
I also think, just to tag on to the end before we get too worked up about all this, that I think Brody maybe hates Colt a bit too much for what happened.
Just a little. Just beat the fuck out of him.
The Beaver Boys lose fucking loads.
He just kind of saw Bully Silver a little.
Get out of here, Colt, you scummer. But we were like best friends last week. I only lost one match. No, get out of here.
How dare you make one mistake? I mean, it is a good opinion of Vince, make one mistake if he hates you. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. But no, this was terrible. I'm sorry. It just was.
This was terrible.
What were they thinking? It's just made the whole storyline look bad. It's just ruined this. He should have run roughshod over the entire division until Cody came back from his injuries and then climbed back to the top of that ladder and defeated him.
No, until Cody came back from his injuries.
As a heel.
And fucks off to go and deal with something else, and Miro stepped in and defeated him. But
anything. He should have been running roughshod.
This is the last one. I'm not going to let it end negatively. Go on, Morg.
Overall, what is our score for this or last week's Dynamite?
All right, okay. You're probably not going to believe this, but normally I use the D ranks to cancel the C ranks and then do C's to B's and we work out the ratio from there. Which technically leaves us with we still have a B rank show. Using it mathematically, and although the ending makes it feel like a C rank show, we have been really excited about everything else we've talked about in this. So I honestly think it's a B rank show. It's just got a fucking shit ending that knocked the hype out of it whenever I've thought back about it.
my recommendation is go and watch this Dynamite, then stop it, then go back a couple of weeks and pretend that the Cody match against Brody Lee is actually the ending, and go and watch that match and just squint a bit.
Yeah, it would have been an A show if that had happened to the same thing had happened to Dustin, and he was taken off in a stretcher and all that jazz after that match. I think it would have been an A show. It would have been, but
what can you do?
Yeah, what can you do? Anyway.
So there you go. That's our review of the week. Dynamite gets a B, Dark gets a C, BTE gets a B. I think it's a good week to go and watch some AEW like it is
weekly B.
every week. So this would be the side of the week that we would ask you for questions. We have had no questions recently. If you'd like to send us some questions, send us something for us to get angry about or something for us to discuss. We are Wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook. You can follow us there, and WrestleOP1 on Twitter, where you can go there and Mr. Strange will tweet interesting things at you.
I will.
So we don't have a rant this week. I think we've had enough rants all the way through this episode. Instead,
a lot of mini rants.
Over to Mr. I was tempted to make you do an on-the-spot rant of the week about the Canadian Destroyer, but I think I'll just hold that for the future. So, Mr. Muir, what have you picked for us to have a discussion about this week?
Quite a simple one. What are your favourite stipulations of matches, and what do you like? What makes a good stipulation, and what also makes a bad stipulation? So, what are your favourite stipulations, Morg? First of all, what's your favourite?
Well, so does the Royal Rumble count as a stipulation?
Yes, mate. It's
so the Royal Rumble is right. So the Royal Rumble is the best.
It is the best battle royale that has ever been invented in wrestling, by far.
Yeah, but my favourite actual stipulation, I am a fan of the ladder match, as long as you've got, and the multi-man ladder match, as long as you don't spend 4 hours climbing up the ladder.
Yeah.
There have been probably more exciting ladder matches than there have been not exciting ladder matches overall, if that makes sense, of ones that I've watched or are of note, including a lot of Money in the Bank ladder matches. The original ones of those were absolutely fantastic. My favorite stipulation of those kind is the Money in the Bank. I think that is such a clever idea and so well executed. And I think what makes a good stipulation for me is it's got to have something on the line. That it needs to be a good payoff to a story as well. I've got another one that I'll come back to. Let you guys go on, and then I'll come back to my one that's got stories connected to it.
That's fun. Strange.
Right. So I am obviously the least knowing of
WWE.
Of WWE and classic wrestling things, but I have got a selection of things I was looking up. My favourite stipulation of all time is obviously the Custody of Dominic match between Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, because it was a ladder match.
Yeah, so I was just about to say, it is a ladder match, so your favourite stipulation is ladder match. Yeah.
Followed by, obviously, the winner marries Lita match.
Death to his part match, I think you'll find.
Matches I hate the most, and there's two, and I'm going to build it to the most. I generally don't like Iron Man matches.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Just because Iron Man matches, it's a lesser version of the match I'm going to move on before.
Yep.
Iron Man matches seem to suffer from this thing where everybody has less hit points than they wouldn't have in a regular match. And don't get me wrong, I've watched some phenomenal Iron Man matches. The Pac Kenny Omega one, great.
I like that one because the reason they got worn down so much is because Pac just cheated. Yeah, he just went, I'm going to take some losses to beat the fuck out of you, which was great.
There wasn't an overabundance of pins.
No.
So it's not the one I hate the most, but it forces wrestling to slow its pace.
I get you. And then only the last 2 minutes really matter of it anyway, so... Yeah.
Obviously, my least favourite match, the one which is still going on today...
Oh, I forgot about this.
Last man standing match.
Oh, fuck off, yeah.
I hate everything about last stand matches. Do they even have time limits?
No.
No.
That's why Edge and Orton are still fighting.
Yes,
that every time there's a last man standing match, people's health begins at like a quarter. Like one of them will get punched once, and the ref's like up to 4, and he's been knocked out once. You know, normally you don't even get this in like a squash match. And but then the entire point of the match is to make it longer. So
it's like you being drunk. It gets to a certain stage really quickly, and it just stays there for the rest of the night.
It's not wrong. I fucking hate it. Why have a match that's based on the suspense of a 10 count, but then also make it as long as fucking possible? It's the worst of both worlds. You're better off having a match where you have to pin somebody down for 10 seconds and only have 15 minutes to do it. Then there'd be some fucking motion and hecticness in it. Wrestlers would be trying to pop back up and actually do fucking shit. But no, instead we get a match which is 70% people lying over. And I loathe it. I loathe them with a passion. Go into things I do like, though, so I don't continue ranting. I really love Lucha Rules trios matches. I think they're great.
They just fly in. Yeah.
And to win, you either need to pin the leader of the opposition team or pin both of the other people.
That's really cool. I do love Lucha.
So you've actually got like some tactics. Maybe they'll be going solely for the leader, or maybe one person's pinned on one team, then one pinned on the other. You've got that back and forth. Who's going to win? Jobby. It's a bit like a Iron Man, except it's an irregular trios match. But favorite current stipulation is the one I saw in the recent. I don't know if it was the G1 or the last tournament where there were a bunch of stipulation matches, and it was Satoshi Hajime, I think, Breadman.
Yep.
Versus El Desperado in a no finishers match. 2 other people have had a finishers only match, which also made me laugh. El Desperado won the no finishers match by tricking his opponent into doing his finisher. And I was like, that's actually quite cool. Basically, he manipulated it so his instincts would drive him. There's no point in having the stipulation if the stipulation isn't going to be relevant.
No, it has to be relevant, yes.
It doesn't matter how stupid that stipulation could be as long as you use it. Like, I generally don't like man falls into things matches, Buried Alive, the Mimosa Mayhem match, because you just end up with people around the edges going, whoa, a lot, you know.
Bollocks, ain't it?
Whereas just a simple thing like finishers only, so 2 wrestlers who could only do finishers or no finishers and winning by use it. There's a film term for it, for show thing in one scene and use it in the next. That.
Yeah.
Is it Occam's razor?
No, that's the simplest point.
No, it's Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
That's the one. It's used really well in Machete when they describe how long human intestines are, and then the next scene he leaps out the window and swings it back in on them.
Yeah, there's something mentioned Occam's razor on a podcast I was listening to earlier, and that's why that jumped into my head first.
That's the simplest solution's normally the one.
Yeah.
Basically.
So, Mr. Muir.
For my childhood love of when I started loving wrestling, it's tables, ladders. And chairs.
Yes.
Fucking those matches were my childhood of wrestling, and they were fantastic, and I loved them. But in recent years, I fucking loved the Grave Consequences matches in Lucha Underground because I loved all the hype and the Mexican tradition of all like the Day of the Dead people coming out with the coffins and having them all painted up and stuff like that. Fucking loved those matches. I always got hype for them.
Even though I just bitched about people falling into hole matches, they were better because you could move the hole.
Yes, mate.
Like the hole could come into the ring or be taken outside.
I was going to say, I always liked Taker's casket matches. I never liked and even the not so good casket matches I enjoyed, but I never liked the Buried Alive matches.
I loved Grave Consequences. I think it was just for like the pageantry around them as well. I always thought they were great.
Because Lucha Underground did everything perfectly.
Not
everything. Did a lot of really good things.
I think what you said about TLC leads into the other thing I wanted to mention. So TLC was so good was because of the setup to it. Was you had
so much build.
The Hardy Boys that were the ladder guys. You had Edge and Christian had been hitting people with chairs. You had the Dudley Boys, with the table.
Get the table. God, I love them.
Yeah.
Greatest tag team of all time. I will fight you, and I will explain as to why they are as well. But the other match that springs to mind, and I think this one's going to get a cheer from Mr. Strange, is obviously a cage match, or a cage match that's so important because there's been so much interference that you need to make sure no one can get in at all until Kane turns up and rips the fucking door off. But the idea, I mean, the Hell in a Cell.
Is there anything better than watching somebody either kick through, pull off, or get slammed through the door in a Hell in a Cell?
No, mate. No, there is nothing better. I thought you were going for the WCW one where there have been so many people interfering in cage matches that they had to do a lumberjack cage match where they had guys outside protecting the people inside the cage.
That's immense. I did not know that was a thing.
Fucking terrible. I love
Only
it.
WCW.
Yes, mate.
But the special shout out to War Games, especially
War Games is great,
especially the ones that have happened on NXT recently, because
I
obviously
don't think I've ever seen a War
As
Game.
long-
go and watch the very recent NXT War Games. Well, but the last couple, worth watching.
As long as the baby faces have the disadvantage, it's a good War Games. If the baby
faces always have the
they
disadvantage.
don't, mate. They
Oh,
don't.
really?
In most War Games in old WCW, it was the wrong way round, and it ruined the stipulation nearly.
Yeah, but you put 3 letters together in a certain order, and that explains why it was done wrong.
Yes, mate.
C-dub.
Yes. Basically, War Games is a 5-on-5.
Oh, I know what it is.
Oh,
There's
okay,
two style. I've never seen one.
Yeah,
Because
fair enough.
WWE was meant to do Blood and Guts, and they got really excited about it.
Yeah, and then they didn't.
Rona.
Yeah, mate.
Though on the brush side, when they do one, it means they do one. It means we'll have Butcher Blade, Lucha Bros, and Eddie as a team, and that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I don't know what my least favorite stipulations are. Things on a pole match are always fucking garbage.
How dare you mock our Lord and Savior Vince Russo?
You did mention one, the Four Corners match.
Oh, rope match where they have to touch all 4 corners.
But it's also I went and looked at it. It also is called, I believe, a Four Corners match. Is another name for it as well.
Yeah.
I have not seen one of these. Do I just need to watch more old school wrestling?
It's old school wrestling.
The rope match is actually slightly better than the Four Corners match because you'd be attached
with a rope.
Yeah. So you have a rope. You're both attached to the rope, and the idea is to touch all 4 corners to win. You don't win it by submission. When it's with a rope match, it's slightly better and not quite as
unbelievable.
Yes.
I think we need a shout out to TNA's Reverse Royal Rumble where it was a fight to get inside the ring. Come on, boys. How awful was that?
TNA started so well. I love the hexagonal ring.
Okay, another shout out for us is the King of the Mountain match, which was a TNA thing where you had to get the belt and you had to climb up the ladder and pin the belt. So it was like a reverse ladder match, but it had weird rules. So you had a sin bin that people could get put in, TNA. And there was so many weird. So a good stipulation is simple and easy to follow. These guys are in a cage because last week their mates keep running in all the time, or we can't 100%. Contain them in a ring. These guys are having a tables, ladders, and chairs match because these guys use ladders, these guys use tables, these guys use chairs. These guys are having a ladder match to get that briefcase because that briefcase gives them a shot at the World Championship whenever they want. Oh, look what these other guys did with it. When you get overcomplicated, that's what makes a bad stipulation, because you asked what makes a good stipulation. Keep it simple.
I'll put it down. Simple rules and a prop.
Yep.
That's what makes a good one. Tables, ladders, chairs, arguably 3 different props, but the prop is basically no DQ, and you've got to get. Is it still grab a belt with the ladder in TLC? I forget.
It would depend. It was, but there have been TLC matches that are just an excuse to jump off a ladder, put someone through a table, and hit someone with a chair.
Well, it's
ladder match, get belt.
It's just a show now, isn't it? TLC. It's just a fucking pay-per-view now for them.
It's the same with Cage, not Hell in a Cell. Cage matches. Really easy to win a cage match. Knock your opponent out, climb to the top, jump down on the other side. Job done. But that's not what you do. You fucking flip back in. You slam each other to the walls. Hell in a Cell, nobody can escape unless you need somebody to escape or break in. Simple rules, prop. That's all you need. basically. Morg had it right.
So there you have it. That's our discussion and our thoughts on match stipulations. Do you have thoughts on match stipulations? Have you got a favourite that we haven't mentioned, or is there one that you particularly hate that we do? I would like to say thank you to Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, or Anchor.fm as Wrestleopinionated. Mr. Muir.
Thank you again for listening. It's always a great pleasure to do this, and I hope you're well out there. And if you'd like to send us anything, it would be wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, or WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Over to you, Strange.
Cheers for listening. I hope you've enjoyed our little maddening rants. Please do like, share, subscribe. I don't know if Anchor has like a like button. Click that as well. I think you can give things a rank out of 5 on Spotify, so hammer that. Show it to your friends, show it to your family. Talk about how we know everything about wrestling and are really accurate, and how I am on obviously first name terms with Eddie Kingston. But yeah, cheers for listening. Back to you, Morg.
And all that's left to be said is goodbye and good night.